My name is Brian Craig. I'm a member of the board here at Fish and Loaves since 2008. I'm going to give you a brief history of how we started. We had no money, we had no food, we had no building, but we knew we had many, many people who were hungry. So after many meetings at the Taylor Library, we got in contact with gleaners. Then came our building. And oh my God, have we expanded since that day. And of course, you know we feed 7 communities here in the Downriver area and Dearborn Heights. And we are a really asset to the Downriver community. People never knew. I never knew, and I've lived here all my life, how many people need a place like this.
My name is Len Vocal, and I'm a volunteer as well as a board member here at Fish and Loaves for the last 6 years. I joined here 6 years ago because at a time in my life when I retired, I wanted something to do, and came here for one day and saw what was needed and how much they needed help. So I decided that this is something I could use my spare time to help out and donate some time and energy to. We're looking for a lot of people at this time to help support us here at Fish and Loaves. As far as physically, we could use your help as volunteers. We're open at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we close at 3 out of the 4 days out of the week, and we close on Mondays at 7 o'clock in the evening. But we're not open on Thursdays or the weekends. So if you're willing to put in some time and some muscle, we'd love to have you come out and help us here at Fish and Loaves. Those that cannot do any physical labor, we still have people who work in the office filling out paperwork for those who come in as new clients. We can always use your help in setting up their appointments and things as they come in the door. We'd also like to ask those companies who make generous donations to causes like ours to think about supporting us in the future. If you have any leftover cash at the end of the year or would like to support one of our fundraisers, we'd love to see you at one of our fundraisers and make a generous donation. It'll go a long way. We spend almost about $30,000 a month on food, so we definitely could use the capital or the money that you give us to help us in purchasing our food here from USDA.
What I've come to realize is that, everybody needs food, and there's a lot of people less fortunate than me or anybody else. I figured this may be the best opportunity to host a food drive event while everybody can see a holiday train lit with Christmas lights from the locomotive to the last car of the train. Our numbers were astronomically great, and what I mean by that, we had at least 5,000 people in attendance, if not a little bit more. You factor in young children, things like that. We brought to Fish and Loaves just a little over 5,000 pounds of food, which was, that was a good year for us, at least. If you really think about it, that was just, that blew the doors wide open. It really did.
2 years ago, I decided that to give back to Fish and Loaves. When the holiday train come through, did I only realize then that I could mix my passion for trains and to help people and give back. And in 2015, we hosted our first food drive for Fish and Loaves, which collected 379 pounds of food and $50 in cash donations. This year, with the help of social media and press coverage, we were able to reach 5,024 pounds of food and $350 in cash donations. I see, by hosting the food drive, of how it brought a community together. And the impact it makes on a community. And this is what Fish and Loaves does.
My name is Mary Hollens. I'm the Executive Director of Fish and Loaves Community Food Pantry. We give out 1.6 million pounds of food each year to families that are at or above 150% of the poverty level. These families don't have a lot of income, so many times they're caught between paying a medical bill, utilities, or having money for food. A typical Fish and Loaves client could be a senior citizen, it could be a grandmother who has custody of her grandchild, it could be a young family, it could just be an individual who doesn't have enough money to purchase food on an ongoing basis. So what Fish and Loaves really does is to help stop food insecurity in the 7 communities we serve and beyond. Fish and Loaves has approximately 1,000 people that will come through our doors every month. We see 3 to 4 new clients each week. We have over 300 volunteers that work throughout the week, throughout the month, to service and deal with all of the clients that come to Fish and Loaves for food. We're a client choice food pantry, and what that means, rather than just giving a client a box of food and saying, here, this is what you're going to have for your meal today, this week, or this month, they can actually shop at Fish and Loaves, choose the foods that they want for their families, and that means there's less waste because the foods they're picking are foods they're actually going to eat. The way that we distribute the food is by weight. One person will receive about 35 pounds of food, and it migrates up depending on the number of people in the family. You might not know that all the food we receive at Fish and Loaves, it's not donated. We spend about $30,000 per month purchasing food to fully stock all of our shelves. And for a small nonprofit, that's a lot of money. That's where you come in. We need additional volunteers to help support the work that we do, and we need the support, financial support of the community. We have 50-50 partners, and those are people, individuals, corporations, and companies that at minimum give $50 a month to support Fish and Loaves. We also see a lot of young children that come through Fish and Loaves, and they're the most vulnerable of the population and people who are dependent upon food that they have here at Fish and Loaves. We have a warehouse, we have a clean room where we get bulk foods, and then we downsize those foods into portions that families can use. We get contributions from stores, from Forgotten Harvest, which is one of our partners, Gleaners, another one of our partners, Focus Hope, another one of our partners. So we source the food from many different corporations and companies who help rescue food. But the most important component of Fish and Loaves are volunteers. We depend on the community to support this organization, and as we move toward our 10th anniversary, your support is more important than ever. As I said, the typical Fish and Loaves client could be your neighbor. They could be somebody that sits next to you in a church, synagogue, or temple. They could be the schoolmate of one of your children. So we ask that the community support us in helping end food insecurity in our community.
October 28th, 15, I had cardiac arrest, died twice, and I'm in the process of getting some income. I don't have an income. And I have a lot of people helping me as much as they can, so coming here to get some food really helps.